Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jeff. So in this video, we're gonna check out NCT 127's Sticker Dance Practice. The fandom was kind of divided with the song, kind of like Punch, I guess. What's weird to me is that there were some people commenting on my music video reaction saying that I was lying about liking the song, and I'm like, okay. But I can affirm it's been, how long it's been out? 2 weeks now? And I still like the song. I know a lot of people don't like the flute part, but I think it depends on the people who can get past the flute. I think half of the fandom were able to get past the flute and then hear the vocals and the layering and, you know, that kind of just milky tone. There are some edits online without the flute, and I put it on my IG story and on my Instagram story, and it seems like some people do prefer it that way. I still like this song and I can't wait to see the choreo. So let's get to it. Just to let you guys know, if you are interested, I did react to the whole album. I'm also NCT in Gapyeong. I will also be reacting to Analog Trip, and all of that you can find on my Patreon. Link is down below. Ooh, Mark gets us all. Ooh, that was fluid. That's a pretty cool opening. I don't think we've ever had anybody do a solo opening. I don't know. Mark has just been bias wrecking me. I don't know what happened with him. He just, like, I mean, he was obviously a great talent before, but the thing is, like, if I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't that, like, my mind was definitely drawn to other people in terms of dance. But like, after he came back to NCT Dream and then onwards, anything else that he did, I was just like, Mark, yo, like that, like, see, it's smooth, like the sway to the back, and then his, like, you know, that kind of stuff. It's so easy to just be like, just do that, but there's a huge difference between this and this, you know, use your head. And this is all cool because it's all in the instrumentation with that like that. What is it? What's that instrumentation called? But it's a nice imagery the way they did it. It's like more like a domino effect, right? The switch from this side to the other. Hey. Oh, that's different the way he did it. Because on the music video, he did more of a Michael Jackson, like both toes. See, this is different. Yeah, I can remember on the music video because I watched it several times. He had both tippy toes. This is a little bit easier to do for sure because you have more of a balance. In the music video, that would be so hard to do live, especially because he's also rapping at the same time. What was I gonna say about that one is that it's a very Michael Jackson musical theater hybrid. And then obviously the Michael Jackson with, like, you know, the both tippy toes. That's something that is also derived from ballet because of the point, you know, when you're basically on your toes. But this is more like that, yee-hee, like that. See, it really shows his hyperflex. Is that what it's called? Someone did an analysis for it. The Ballet Dancer Analyzes NCT, that series. I did react to it. Hyperflexibility. So it really shows in his, in this part. Like, look how much more indented that is, kind of like inwards. Probably for the person who choreographed this, it was probably more like, if I do it this way, it's kind of like toot toot. But because he's hyper flexible, it goes quite in. It goes like this, boop, boop. But his is definitely obviously more. But the thing is, like, that whole thing, it kind of just makes it more Taeyong. It really just solidifies his persona and his dent in his style. It's kind of like with the way he does kick it. It's just so Taeyong. It's so different, but it works. You know how NCT 127 is very experimental with their music? Taeyong would be like the visual representation of experimental in terms of his overall style. He's just so unique as a dancer, and that's his charm. It makes you very captivated, and it's like you're irreplaceable in a very good way. That part, obviously, it has a little bit more ballet in that. It's more graceful for sure. So that was led with the elbows for sure. And then the tips of the fingers, you know, it's just, you got to pay attention to those kind of things, because it's not just boom, it's boom, right? It has that gracefulness in the tips of the fingers. So it hits and then it keeps moving a little bit, right? Hey, look at Haechan with his like kind of nuances in the way he is traveling. He didn't just walk to his position. He had these kind of like details in it. Right? It's in the music, it's in that, and that's smart for the choreographer. There's a lot of imagery here. Right? And then it's very minimal with like the shoulders. They're almost like dancing statues. Hey. Hey. Yeah, so because this music is so stripped back, you can clearly hear the instrumentation, the different instruments and different effects in this instrumental. And it's genius for the choreographer to just fill in the spaces using those little notes. And you can see it like when they turn their heads, when they use their hands. The music is stripped back as well as their dancing. And then you have that kind of part, like for example, Haechan, he kind of has a little bit more of a continued and less staccato movements. So staccato, if you're new to my channel, staccato is more like this, not as fluid. It's very boom, boom, boom. But here in the more stripped back instrumentation, you do have those more staccato moments, and then you're counteracted by like the more continued flows in the choreography. Like Haechan's part here. Hey. Oh, this is the killing point, the stick up part. Because I wasn't sure about it in the music video. See, like, yeah. So, ooh. That I'll go back to that part, but yeah, this whole chorus, kind of have been saying this a lot lately. I'm seeing a lot more choreography that is leaning more towards what 1 Million Dance Studio and what LA Millennium Dance Studio kind of is popular for. Like this kind of dancing, it's not K-pop dancing anymore, because there's a specific K-pop style. We know this, and that's just a different genre. It's kind of like how you have salsa, you have pop and locking, you have ballroom. There's specific genres, and as other genres, it can be combined. This is definitely more towards like, you know, those hip-hop movements that is more 1 Million Dance Studio and Millennium Dance Studio. Like this could almost be actually more like lyrical hip-hop. So in this part, it's more definitely isolation with that part, shoulder, knees, and then like hands. Hey, tail! Nice. See that like fluid flick, and then a lot of dynamics in this choreography, in this specifically the chorus, because it goes back and forth between the instrumentation and the vocals. Because sometimes the emphasize is used because of the instrumentation, and then it goes into these fluid movements where it's like the jaw part. So it's switching back and forth, which is creating this like amazing dynamics. And I like the choreo. It's very interesting to me because I like stripped back music as much as those like big ones. And so when you have something like this where it's a little bit more stripped back and then you're dancing to it, that's so new to me, fresh and interesting, because growing up, you know, you grow up into this mindset that big movements can only be done with big music. you know? And then if it goes stripped back, then you kind of think that it's more interpretive dancing and more ballet, you know? Like that's just how the society and the dance community in the past kind of set it up as. And nowadays you have a little bit more flexibility and openness about how you would choreograph something. So this one being so stripped back and it's a lot on the melody of the vocals, now you have choreographers who are switching back and forth between the instrumentation and the vocals in this very stripped back kind of sound. So it's really cool. Hey, boom. There's a lot of flicks there. Ah! Oh, that's slick. See, this is so different for me, and it's exciting because it's new. A lot of these is like emphasizing on those beats, the little flicks that happens in the instrumentation. Ooh. Right? There's like, oh, this one is on the flute actually. It's on the, so that part, right? And then it goes into the vocals with a and then it goes in, so it goes up, 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 and then he kind of stays there, and then the right hand, it kind of goes like this. So boom, 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 boom. Oh, it goes into that wave first, and then that. They're singing with their bodies. It's literally on the flute. They're visualizing the flute. Hey. Woo, that's like. Oh wait, actually, I love that part in the music video. I watched it several times. Like Haechan's part here is just so smooth. It's similar to how they did NCT Dream's Hot Sauce. Hello Future. When they do that part, the footwork is very similar. This part, hey, but like that, his body lines is insane here. It's so simple and so effortless for him. Like look at the way he is moving his torso, cause yeah, it's very fluid and it's just so nice to see. And then his like this, oh, you know, like that attitude enhancing that. It's in the performance aspect of it. Like there's a difference between just dancing and performing. And that's why I don't have dancer reacts to, I have performer reacts to. Because I'm not just all for the dancing aspect of it, I also love looking at these performance aspects. Because these performance aspects is the nuances that you can add into the dance. You can have an amazing dancer, but if there's no performance value to it, it's not as captivating as when you have somebody who is really good and also has that performance aspect. Yes, of course, you can totally be like an amazing dancer without the performance aspect. That exists, and people will be amazed, but there is a difference if you are an amazing dancer and you have that performance value. It's kind of like with backup dancers, for example. Amazing dancers, but they have to hold back on the performance aspect because they're not the main event. All they have to do is dance really well. But if you're the soloist, the performance aspect skyrockets. You can't just dance. And that's why when they go into the middle part, when they're the center, it ups the performance value because they're the center of the attention. You know, for example, the way Haechan commands the energy in the camera when he's at the back is gonna be very different in the way he commands energy when he's in the front. Oh. There's actually a lot of switching in the background. They've repeated that several times, and it's kind of adding that tippy-toe kind of vibe to it. Hey. I'm sorry, Haechan is popping off in this. Look at this fluidity in his body. Look at that. Oh. Wait. It's so smooth. I mean, Jungwoo does that too? Oh shit, that's a high kick. Hold on, there's a lot going on in this. And the thing is, like, I can pay better attention to the movements because it's less busy. The instrumentation is less busy. I can really focus and see where they're visualizing the notes. A lot of the movements are just emphasizing the beats and the notes. You don't always have that in loud movements because there's a lot of layers. Going back to Haechan, it's just like, look at like his torso work. I think it's because the way he is, like Jungwoo is doing it too, but I think because Haechan is like, you know, looking at a different direction, you just see a different point of view of that move, which works to his favor, like that body wave into his position. His body's like, it's so liquid, love it. But this one, the high kick, holy shit. Hey. Such a good transition into the chorus because it's huge. Hey. Yeah. Sorry. Certain members definitely shine in specific choreographies, right? We know this. Unless you're biasing somebody else, you're gonna see a specific person stand out more within a certain choreography. In this particular choreography, Haechan is definitely standing out more. It's probably because he's also in center a lot, but the way he's moving is just so effortlessly cool, and it works like that footwork. It just pops. I don't know, like what? It could also be because of the way he's wearing more of like fitted jeans or fitted pants. It makes the legs look longer, and then it makes the lines look cleaner. Like for example, for Taeyong, love those jeans. I saw that they're Balenciaga on one of Taeyong styles on Instagram. I follow like what they're wearing because I love their fashion. I'm like, which one do I want to buy? But this Balenciaga, it's hiding his movements just a little bit. Like, look at his, look how low he is. See the difference? I don't know. I hate comparing members but the thing is, like, I want to show you guys because here you have the real members doing this and there's a slight different interpretation. Pay attention to the way Mark is moving his head. It starts from the front and then it goes towards the back, kind of like that. See? Right? But like with this team over here, I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying there's a slight different interpretation. It's like this side, the leading in is on the shoulders. They're going this way. Like that. But with Mark, it's the head leading. Look at it again. Right? So it's actually a little smarter for Mark to use the head to lead because there's way more to go. And when you lead with your head, the whole body follows. The shoulders can really go so far, but the head can go in different ways. It's a little bit more extended because of the neck part. And you can create a little bit more in that sense. But I can tell you why this side can be different than this side. Because when you are learning it in the mirror, you're only probably most likely looking at the people beside you to synchronize. The tendency is like if you're synchronized with the person beside you, the chances are the next person will look at the other person and then it kind of domino effects, and then overall then you have a more synchronized movement as a group. That's why it can be different from one side to another. In this part, what I would want to know is like, do I lead with the shoulders or do I lead with my head? So these are the kind of details that I'm probably the only one looking at. Hey, woo, that stomp gives me like the G-Sun stomp vibes. Oh, here we go. Oh shit! That's a powerful dance break. Taeyong kills it in the middle in a good way. I always have to like reiterate what I mean because sometimes it can be interpreted wrong. Because like when you say someone killed it, it could be interpreted both as a bad thing and as a good thing. I actually love how Jungwoo did the dynamic there with a boom. Like he went a little bit harder on that first one and it kind of smooth, you know, that part. And then Taeyong does it too. He has flicks in the way he was moving here. Flick in the knees. There you go, right? That footwork is, this section here is very difficult to synchronize because it's fast. I've touched on it before. It's like, it's when it's easy to look messy when the movements are fast because you're trying to get to the next move as much as possible. So it's gonna be between people who can finish the moves and then also those people who don't finish the moves. And that's how it can kind of create a more not as clean of a look. If everybody finishes the move, then it's good. If everybody don't finish the move, then yes, it could also look clean because they're kind of moving at the same speed. Here, they really did well with this one. Right? Like that part, that sway, oh, that was so good. It's like, they moved as one. Right? So I'm looking at it as a whole and it's very clean. Like, especially that foot part, like it goes into this part and then the footwork, it's insane. And it has like levels too, wow. So they gave us that like, you know, big moment and then it goes back into more stripped back. What the fuck is that thrust? It's a full-on thrust. They are usually very kind of modest with it, but here it's like a full-on bump. It's okay, Jeff, it's okay. So I can tell you, like, with these very slower movements near the end of the choreography, it's going to be harder to do because by this point you're tired. And when you're tired, it's hard to pay attention to those little moments, the details, because you're like, you're just like, I just want to get through it, you know? But like for them to actually still hold back and like, you know, like these still adds them, it's commendable. That part, the isolation in the shoulders. Amazing! Wow, okay. This is really long. I wonder how different this will be because both Sticker and Lemonade, they're both stripped back. So let's take a look how different the choreography may be or may not be. It might be very similar. It seems like they filmed this right after Sticker because they're a little sweaty already. Like, you can tell. That's a cool formation change, that turnaround. Woohoo! Hey. Oh, that forward. This is changing a lot. Formation changes a lot. Okay. Oh, that's fast. Okay, before we get to the chorus, it's slower beginning because with Sticker, it kind of smacks you in the face, like with the imagery and all that. It's a little bit more of an ease into it, which makes sense given the music. I like this part. It's a great image. It's kind of an abstract sculpture too. Hey. So that part, you're twisting and you're going like this as you're turning around. So the way you teach that to people is you have them line up in front of the mirror, and then you're teaching them that move. So you're just doing that, and then you put them in their positions, and then you're gonna be like, okay, do the same thing, but because they're facing each other this time around. So that's gonna create this kind of opening. And then that's gonna be like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's how it is in the dance studio. Because like, at first, when you're just learning it in front of the mirror, it's like, okay, this is like, a normal move. And you're like twisting it as you go. It's kind of like, okay. But then you put it together as a piece, how you envisioned it, and it's a lot better. Oh, that's slick. Ooh. Editing Jeff here. He's making an appearance. I'm definitely discovering a lot more on this Lemonade dance video than when I originally was filming this. It's actually really, really cool. Like in this specific section, like Taeyong does like a small kind of electrified vibration in that part. He kind of it's kind of like freezing and then kind of like vibrates a little intensely, but then it works in that moment, and it's just so cool. I don't know if it's because I've used up a lot of my energy in the sticker reaction, but I'm just like, what can I tell you guys? Then that kind of like wobbly part that they're doing, it's very commendable. I gotta give it to them for synchronizing that part, because that could look really messy, and they did it amazingly because it was so clean. It's very well controlled. The knees, the height level, the command of the arms, because it's kind of like flailing almost, and it needs to be a little bit more flaily because it has that kind of like wobbly effect that they're doing for that choreography. I gotta hand it to them for synchronizing that moment, mainly because of the levels. You got the right height from each other, and then like the right amount of energy for the arm movements. Ooh, I love that puppetry kind of the way Taeyong declined to that position. It's very puppet-like. So in those kind of moments, you really have to loosen up your body. You can't be stiff on that, and you just let your thing kind of wobble into that position, but more controlled, like with intention. There's a difference between just kind of like doing sloppily and kind of like really isolating that middle part of you and then breaking it down to that position. And you break it up more here. Yeah, there's a lot of footwork, and it's crazy because it's so fast. Like that part, the twisty part outwards. Yeah. Whoa, it's a slide to the side with that footwork. Okay, it's going harder. If you can see though, like if you see the actual movements, it is more angular than sticker. The first chorus actually is a little bit more of a combination, but this part here, leading up the pre-chorus to the chorus, it's more angular. Yeah. That boom, boom, it's like there's a step two. I don't know what to say. It's pretty straightforward, these movements. I mean, it's. So I gotta override this part because I do know what to say now because I've been freshened up. This choreography is actually cooler than I originally have thought. Because this one is kind of like what I was mentioning somewhere in this reaction, that it's kind of like a block
It's kind of like, imagine if like Lego was dancing. They're just moving as one, especially in this part where like they're doing that kind of like driving part. They basically formed this rectangular imagery. It's an illusion that your arms are touching the shoulders, right? Even though they're not. And then the footwork kind of goes back and forth. So you're stiffening the arm there, and because it's kind of like isolated, your upper body and your lower body. Your lower body is the only one that's moving. And that's kind of like making this Lego-like imagery. Imagine a Lego block and put legs on it. That's kind of like how the imagery is. Because of the kind of like tippy-toey sound of the instrumentation, it works so well. A lot of these movements would only work if they were very synchronized, and it was very satisfying that
with Heshim's high note or ad lib there, they didn't give him anything to do. It's probably more on the camera. See, there's a lot more space, there's a lot more static spaces, because in Sticker, you have the person who is in the middle doing stuff, and then the other people at the background are still doing stuff. They're not just standing, they're doing something. It's creating this cool imagery, you know? Oh. Wait, what's happening there? Is that a domino effect? You have like two different timing there. I'm assuming that's a domino effect. I don't think that's supposed to be a domino effect. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like, I love you, Taeyong, but I feel like that was like, ahead of the beat. Because this is my first time seeing this. I don't have any other reference. You guys have probably watched Shooty Tunes, Stages, Music Bank. In this particular one, it seems like it's either a domino effect or he was a beat earlier.
I can just sympathize with them on this part, because the more I watch this and study this part of the choreography, it's the more you realize how tiring this choreography is, and the back-to-back. I don't know how many times they did Sticker and how many times they did Lemonade, but like for this specific section, it kind of shows how tired they are, and that's to be expected for if you're doing a lot of promotions, if you're doing a lot of dance practices, a lot of interviews. This busy comeback, it's a full-length album, and it's really tightening up their schedule, and it's a lot on their bodies for as dancers as well, because you can see here with Jungwoo, he actually misses a little bit of the choreo, like in that section. He tries to catch up, and that's what you got to do with when you're dancing. You will have those moments where you miss a certain part or a beat in there, and you have to catch up. Otherwise, there's going to be off timing for the other ones, and that's how you know how exhausting these choreographies are. And because like as much as we love hard choreography, it also is a lot for them to actually perform. So this part, oh shit, Johnny, he went bananas on that. Love it. Dude, he did that amazingly. And it kind of created this kind of like swirl movement, and that was light on the other side and then hardcore on the other side with Johnny. I don't know if that's intentional with the choreography, but it was like, it's a nice swirl.
Oh shit. I mean, a lot of, like, there are some moments here that they go really hard. And then they're repeating this choreo here. It was a different... Yeah, it's a lot of repetitive movements in terms of sections, which is not a bad thing. I'm just pointing it out. Hey, yeah. I mean, your stamina is your friend here. If you got good stamina, yeah. If you got good stamina, this will be easy for you. It's kind of like jolts in energy that you need. Yeah, I definitely like Sticker better as a choreography than Lemonade. Lemonade, it was a lot of blocks and jolts of energy, but it was all on the surface of the instrumentation and the vocals. Sticker had nuance in the little things within the instrumentation that I really liked. Of course, this is a first reaction. I might, like when I'm editing, I might discover more in the Lemonade that I didn't see on this first go. It's a first reaction, so. I do like Sticker more of as a song too. I'm gonna be very on the minority in that. Lemonade, I love in the teaser. I don't know if you guys haven't watched my reaction video from my album reaction video. The first time I listened to Lemonade as a full song, I was like, some verses I feel like didn't really work for me, but the teaser I loved. I was so confused as to why I like the teaser more than the full song. When in the teaser, I was asking for more. And when I was given more, I was like, ooh, I don't know how to feel about that. In the teaser, I was like, damn, this is a really good song. I like Sticker more. I don't know, it's just so interesting to me. The way it's laid out and the way the choreo worked and the nuances in it and the vocals, the soul. If you guys know, let me know if they decide the title track after they see the dance moves, the choreography to a song. Because if that's the case, then I can see why Sticker is the title track and not Lemonade. Well, thank you guys so much for watching with me today. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, do like and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, make sure you tick that notification bell so you don't miss any content from me. And if you'd like to get to know more about me, do check out my Instagram and Twitter down below.